Hey, what's up everyone? Today we're going to start having some fun with some wiring. Okay, I've been kind of studying this for a couple of days, come out about an hour or so, get too cold and go in. And I've kind of got things figured out here, how we're going to, or not how, but how we're going to, but how it works and how we're going to get it wired. So got some do it. Alright. We know we have to have, we're going to wire up the 10. The 10 score reel is connected to the 00 to 90 unit. And so is the number, or the 10 on player 2. So if we look at our 00 to 90 unit here, what happened? Okay, you can see that there's 10 contacts here and 10 contacts up here, with a couple of extra. These are, I think, for the credit, for knocking a credit on if you line everything up. Okay, the bottom here is all for your lights. This is what lights up when the game is over. You can see like this is a green and yellow. You run down here and here's your green and yellow on that light right there. So that'll light up, what's that one? 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. That's 70. So this is your 70 light. And here's what's the problem, is there's no rhyme or reason on some of this stuff. Here, let's see, the 00 would be this red blue, and 00 is 10. Green orange is our 00, and green orange is right here in the middle. So you see there's no real rhyme or reason as to this unit, because it is random as it's turning around. It's not going to just start off and go 10, 20, 30, 40. You know, it's just as it's turning around, it's just going to land in a position, and it could be, you know, you could have like it's on right now. Let's see, would be the 00. So it's going to come on, and your 00 is up here for your score unit, but you would think 00 would be up, or 00 would be up here, but it's not. So there's no real rhyme or reason. It's random. As it's turning around, it could be 10, 50, 60, you know, it's random. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Because if it wasn't, you could kind of figure out where it's going to match and stop your play right at that play. It's just going to be all part of that cheating. No cheating. Cheaters never prosper. Yeah, that's what they used to say. But one good thing is the 00 to 90 is tied in to the 10-point score unit on player 2. So all of our numbers here are the same on there as they're going to be on here. Let me get this one actually was pulled out of one with pretty close to the same wiring harness. There's just a few subtle differences as far as wiring goes, but we can get a lot of it wired up, and then we'll have some other stuff that we have to figure out on this. And this came out of a player 2 10 because it had double wires on it. And you can see double wires over here. Nope, those are single. Double wires would be, yeah, off of player 1. Anyway, okay, let's move on. But up top here, I did figure out that these three here is 60, 70, and 80. Just by looking at the schematics and matching up the colors. And all these colors here, the red, black, it's right here, red, black. And if you come over here, you can see red, black. So we know that goes to that pin. This one is your brown, blue, and it's double on here. So we can come over here and you can see that that is our brown, blue. So we can match everything up as far as that goes with that one over there to our 00 to 90 stepper. But there's other wires on here that come up off the play field to do different things, do lights and other things down below. So those ones we'll have to figure out. But the first thing we need to do is we'll get that wired up to this, and then we'll see what's left over, and then we can work in the rest of it. There's other things that we do know, like this. That's our coil and our trigger, or vice versa. Anyway, and here we have the right one there, goes up to there. And this guy here, we have a blue white, which in here, this is where we may run into some differences. There is no blue white in here. So this is kind of going to be off, but the one side of the coil comes down and hooks to our board. So we'll have one coming down and hooking up to that first pin. How do we know that? If we come over here, we have a white with a yellow stripe plastic coat. You come over here to our board and there it is. It's yellow. It's white with the yellow stripe plastic coat. Goes to the first contact. So we know that's where that one goes to on the one we're going to be wiring in. So we're going to kind of do that, and we'll get that all done, and that way we'll see what's left over, and then we can start tracing other things down, like what was I thinking? Oh yeah, on here there's two plastic coateds, a white with a red stripe and a white with a brown stripe, and we can trace down. That's okay, orange, not red. White with orange, and you can see it comes over and hooks in right here on our Jones plug. So we know that goes to the play field. And now that one, I'm thinking may be our trigger for our coil. And then we have our end of stroke switch here to mess with too. But you know, it's going to be kind of a fun deal. Some of it's going to be easy, and the rest of it's going to be a little more difficult to figure out where stuff goes. I figured out some of it with the schematic. That's player 1 10 to 90 drum unit, and that is the 00 to 90 unit. And you can see how random it is at 0, 7, 2, 5, 9. Okay, but all the colors are there, and all the colors are on our mech panel in our bundle. And then, like I said, the other ones we're just going to have to, we'll figure out where they go on our score unit. What I'm doing here is I kind of figured I have some shrink tubing, and most of these that go to the 00 to 90 unit were doubled, so I pulled them off and put that one back and put one back on here, and I think I'm going to strip and add to a couple of these and see if they're going to be long enough for us to just use it that way, and that way the colors will coincide with the machine. So let me I don't know what the hell that was. I'm gonna extend this black brown, which the black brown on the very bottom, black brown, or brown black, or I should say, or orange, maybe orange from the looks of it, is right here. Comes around, and it is right. Where are you at? You're in there. There you are. It may not even be black. It may be the orange blue. Nope, there it is. This guy right here. Orange black. Or pink. Whatever. But that's the one that goes to the bottom. No? What the hell am I thinking? God, I got screwed up. Okay. This is what I've got so far on here. I got all the easy ones done. I got a couple more that are pretty easy too. These are the ones that I have all hooked up, are the exact same as what's on the 10-point relay or 10-point score reel on player 2. So that was easy enough to match everything up and get everything wired, you know, that I could see that was easy to do. That way I could start getting some wires out of the way here and getting stuff hooked up. And then we have two of them that were pretty easy too. We have one, the top one goes to your coil, and the second one goes to your end of stroke switch. But each one of those have another wire coming off of it as well. As you can see over here, you have two here. They run down to that second post, second terminal, and then takes off and runs somewhere else that I'm not sure yet. I'm still working over some things. This one, I know that one. That's a black and white on the end of stroke. We have the black and white right here. I will test them before I hook it up. That goes to this side of the end of stroke switch. And let's see the other one. Oh yeah, this one here, the yellow and green, goes to the solenoid. How I determine that is, this is our player control unit here. Big unit, huh? Just a relay. And you can see we have yellow or white with a yellow stripe. If we come over to player 2, on the solenoid is yellow or white with a yellow stripe. So when this is open, it's on player 2, and when it comes in, it goes to player 1. So that would be, this wire here would be our solenoid for player 1. And I already tested that, and that one at continuity goes through. We're going to have some that come up off the play field. That's what's going to be kind of it'll start getting a little difficult once I start getting into all of that. And I think I have eight wires left and 7 places to put them. So I got to determine if there's one terminal here that takes 2 wires, or if I have 2 here that are the same that go together, you know, whatever. This one was easy. That's the trigger for the coil, or either or, whichever way you want to look at it. And then I have these 4 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have the end of stroke switch 1, the other side 2, and 3. That gives us 7. And we have 2, 4, 6, 8 wires. So I got to determine that. And it may be that I am missing it here on the coil or not. Because you can see every coil has 2 of the heavy wires to it. Even on the 10-point player 2. And here I only have 1. But there isn't another one that is the exact same. One of these things is not like the other. So I gotta do a little bit more figuring. I'll get these 2 hooked up, our solenoid and our one side of the end of stroke switch, and then I'll start going from there. And when I come up with some other wires and where they go, I will bring you back and let you know and show you, because I'm pretty sure, I think there's a couple on the ball count unit, not sure. Kind of looks like I have some wires over here that are the same as on our 10-point. And the biggest thing, the easiest way that I can figure out is to figure out where they go off of player 2, and then I can figure it out, because we have our 10-point relay here that could very well have wires going to our 10-point score reels. So let me get these other 2 hooked up, and we'll be that much further along, and then I can start doing a little bit of figuring, and when I figure out some other wires, I will bring you back and let you know. Okay, I got this one all wired in except one wire. I have a red and white wire there that I'm not positive where that one goes. I did find it. It's over here. Let me move this a little. There we go. I found it. It's right down here on the 10-point relay that it's attached to the coil. And from the schematics, it's showing that it goes to the end of stroke switch. Well, it's kind of puzzling to me because there's quite a few of the wires that go to this end of stroke switch. The black one, which is I think a red and white, it goes there too. And we have this green one, which is the black and yellow. And black and yellow is right, because on the 10-point relay on the second player, you can see the black and yellow, and those 2 do ohm out, or there's continuity between the 2 of them, so they both go there. So I'm leaving this one off until we get everything all put together and put it in, and then we can see what it does if you hit a 10-point and the 10-point doesn't register or click, then we know we need to hook this up. Because the end of stroke switch, the power comes in through, it's the black and yellow, no, it's going to be my black wire here, which is, yeah, no, that's wrong. But anyway, one of them, it's this green one, that's the one, that's our power coming in, or ground, whatever. And then the trigger's the other one. It triggers the coil, comes up, triggers the coil, registers, and when it comes down and registers the 10-point, it opens up the end of stroke switch, shutting the coil off, which all has to run through this plate. So it's kind of a weird setup, but it kind of loops around, and the end of stroke switch, you know, the coil doesn't trip by just a trigger wire. The trigger wire goes to the end of stroke switch, sends it around, and then when it opens the end of stroke switch, it shuts off the coil. And by that time, everything else should have shut off too as well. So we'll see what happens. We may end, you know, that'll give us an idea for sure as to what this wire does go to the end of stroke switch, and I'll get it put on the right one. schematics, like I said, are a little weird. It's showing that this wire is supposed to be going to the second 10 pointer, but maybe later on I don't have the computer on right at the moment now, but I have the schematics up and I'll show you. It's kind of goofy. All these wires that are on here are right, but this first player only has 3, or second player only has 3 wires on it, and I have the correct 3 wires on the end of stroke switch here on the first player, but I'm not sure if it takes 4 wires because, you know, we didn't have nothing. So it'll be kind of a little bit of a mystery once we get everything all put in. I did find all the other wires. All the other wires are go to like our reset, player reset. Here's our green, or yellow and green. This is the white and yellow, which go to the second player, so this was kind of easy to figure out those two, or figure out this one. So wherever it goes on the second player, it would go on the first player. Wires off of our 10 point coming off and going to our first player and to the second player. There's wires coming off of our ball count unit that come off of it and go to the first player and second player. Let's see, what else did I figure out? Oh, the score reset. We have score reset. We have this, it's supposed to be a gray and white. Comes off and goes to the first player, and the red, or the white red, goes to the second player, not the second player, not the not the 0 to 90. Okay, and then we had all of our wires that went to the 00 to 90, and that's letting the machine know what the score reel is on. Like if it's on 20, it will run over to the 00 to 90, and if the game is over, it turns on the light, and then it sends juice over to the credit unit and gives you a credit for a match. So these were really easy because you just matched these up. Wherever they were on the second player, they go on the first player. Those ones were really easy. And so was and this is another thing that's kind of puzzling me, is because every one of these coils has 2 wires on it. So I'm not positive that I have all my wires on the coil. These all have 2, and every one of the second player have 2. So, you know, there's just a few things that are going to be a little goofy. Schematics for this machine are just, they're absolutely terrible. If you've looked at EM schematics, you don't get a real nice diagram of a unit. You have to kind of, and when you do find something, it just tells you it goes to the 10 point first player score unit. Doesn't tell you what pin or nothing. So, you know, it's a little tough, but I'm getting through it. Now we're going to start working on our 10,000. That's the second player. This is our first player here. I got to strip all the wires off of it, get it all cleaned up so I don't have to try and clean it while it's in the machine. And this one, our plate's busted. We have a piece missing, so we have 2 traces missing, which is, you know, no whoopee. I knew it when I bought these. That's why, you know, this was the only guy that had messaged me that he had a couple. So I took what he had. Simple. We'll just put little jumpers in, and we'll be good to go. Get it all cleaned up, get all the wires off of it. And then what we're going to do is we'll do all the easy ones first. We'll take our multimeter and we will start probing. We'll hook it up to 1 and then check all of our wires that go to the 10,000. You know, we'll see if we can match some of them up, like the the solid yellow. There's a couple of solid yellows. We'll see if we have continuity to them. If we do, then we know that on the first player, bottom pin will be that one on our loom. You know, so we can get all that done, and then there's going to be a bunch of wires on the 10,000 that go over to our high score or game replay over here. So we'll have to get them figured out so we can set, so you can win a game on here. And it may be the same over here. Not sure. I don't know what the difference are between these two. There was quite a bit of difference between the 10 on those two, but there was a lot of similarities. So, you know, it works out. Once you get a whole bunch of these wires all figured out and where they go, then you have I think I had 8 left, and I found 2 or 3 of them real quick. It was just kind of one of those duh moments. Duh! And so I got them figured out, and then I only had like 4 or 5 left that I had to kind of hunt around on here. There's and to mention that they're on the 10 point, there's 2 of them that go to our Jones plug, and that'll be our game over and our trigger. Game over and I think reset. All the 10 points come up and go to the 10 point relay. But game over and game reset come down and go to the bottom. So off of the 10 point. You know, like I said, you start figuring this stuff out as you go along. You just kind of keep studying it, following wires and seeing which ones they go where. Use your multimeter, check for continuity, and you can trace down your wires and where they go. And hopefully when you get to where one wire is, that there's a corresponding wire that goes to the 10 point on the second player, and then you can match them up. Just time consuming and, you know, a little daunting and tedious. But we'll get her done. I'm really looking forward to that score motor. Alright, I'm going to get our 10,000 point all cleaned up and ready to go. And then we'll get it put up on there and we'll start wiring it up. I'll probably show you a little bit more wiring on the 10,000. The 10, I was just kind of getting my feet wet and, you know, and kind of figuring things out. And now that I have my head all wrapped around what I need to do, I can show you a little bit more wiring up to 10,000. All right, let me get this cleaned up and we'll get back to it. Okay, as you can see, I got it all cleaned up. I got it all ready to wire in and all my wires put on it, except for the end of stroke and the coil. Those we'll get to. You can see my repair here on the board. And what I am going to do, the easiest I have found, is we'll do all the easy ones first. Like, we'll just start here at the bottom. We'll clip that on there. Turn our meter on. Make sure got a good connection. Yep. And I think I've already kind of messed around here a little bit, so I could get through this pretty quick. That bottom one is a yellow, or kind of a yellow, and it should be that one. So we know that one goes here on the bottom. The next one is kind of an orange. I say kind of because who knows what they're really supposed to be. Okay, got a good connection. And it should be this one right here that looks kind of orange. And that'll be our second one, that yellow. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go through here, find all my colors that we have in the harness here, and match them up and get them hooked up. That way it kind of eliminates all the easy ones, and then the hard ones we'll have to start tracing down, like to the I think there might be 1 or 2 on the 1,000 point relay, because this is the 10,000, but when it flips over, I think there's one that comes off of there and goes and flips off of here and goes on to there, off of the 1,000 to the 10,000. I know there's going to be 1 or 2 here on the 100,000 point relay, and this is what pulls in and lights up the 100,000 on the glass. And there should be some on the score, 1 or 2 on the score reset. And then, let's see, what was this one? Player control, yeah. And then there'll be 1 or 2 here on the player control. There's nothing on the play field that's 10,000, so we shouldn't have anything coming off of here except for maybe game over or game start. But we'll find out. Let me get all the easy ones done first, and then we'll start tracking down some of the hard ones on this, and we'll do that together and see what we can come up with. Alright, I got 10 out of the way. Those were all the easy ones. And, well, you know, easy, just going from here to here. But I want to take a second here and let everybody know that we are working on player 2, not player 1. This is player 1 that has all the score reels. Player 2 was the one that had them missing. Kind of life of a slight dyslexic. So this is player 2 that we're working on, because if you take the panel and bring it over and flip it around, you'll see that's player 2 and there's player 1. Like I said, it's me. You know, like I said, I've always been slightly dyslexic, so kind of bear with me in some of these videos. I get a lot of stuff backwards because of that. Okay, with that being said, we got 10 of the easy ones out of the way. And we have this bundle of fun stuff left, which there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, we got 18 wires left. 18, 19 up top there. We know 2 of these heavy yellows will go to our coil. And the heavy green one will go, one of the heavy green ones, I think there's only one heavy green one. Yeah, that's kind of a green-white. This heavy green one usually goes to the end of stroke switch. Right there on player 1. When I was working on the 10 unit, I kind of kept getting stuff backwards because of, you know, what I said. And then I finally realized in this, when I was working on the 10,000, that I need to look at this again because things just aren't looking quite right. And sure enough. So now I'm kind of working through a few other wires. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our purple one here is there's nothing connected to it. On the first player, it's a white with a red stripe. I found it. Here's our first player, and it's this one right here. Or whoops. God. Anyway, let me see what the hell I got going. Did I lose my connection? There. So that should be the 100,000. There. First player. Thought I had found that one. Maybe not. So let's see if we can find it. If we can find it for player 1, then we know wherever it's at, the opposite of it should be player 2. This is our player control. See, we don't have any white with red. But like I said, we have white with red here on our 100,000. And I do have a good connection, right? Yes, okay. Just making sure. So something will pull this in. Not there. Not there. Here it is here, but nothing. Here it is. Here's one all the way down on the bottom on our score reset. That's not it. There's a lot of these that have same colors. Might be a slight variation, but they're there. I could have swore that was it. That's player, yeah, that's first player 100,000. Okay, let me see if I can't find it. I had to step away for a minute, and I got kind of screwed up. Okay, found it. It's the third wire. You can see it's a kind of a white red. And first player, white red, is right there. Come on. Just don't have a real good connection, but that's it right there. There we go. And that's the third wire, which will be our brown. And if we come over here, I don't know if I can get my little hook on that or not. But anyway, let's see if I can get in there and get it hooked. There we go. It is this one right here. So that coincides. Now we need to put our red white, this one, on our third pin, the brown, which is this guy right here. I can get him out of there. That's the one that'll go on that red white, or white red, I should say. Okay, and then I'll get that one done, and I'll see if I can't do a couple more here with you, and hopefully I can keep my head screwed on straight and see stuff the way I'm supposed to, and we'll do a couple more, and then I'll go ahead and get the rest of this all wired up. Okay, here's another one, part of the 100,000 relay. Let's see, we got one, and this will be this orange, blue and orange. So I put it on that blue and orange, and we come over here, and it's from the top down. It should be the third one, which it is. Probably can't see. Okay, there we go. And so corresponding, if these should all be set up in order. So we'll put that on player 2, and that's kind of a blue-yellow, and I've kind of pulled it out here, and here's the blue-yellow. And you can see there it is. So that goes on our pin, on our score reel on the third one down, which 1, 2, 3 should be this purple. Purple, blue. More of a blue than a purple. So I'll get that one put together, and that's another one out of the way, and we're just kind of slowly, methodically finding them. And this is what takes the time. So I'll get that one soldered back on, and I'll pick out another one here. We may be able to just kind of keep working down through here. Boy, that one's nasty. Kind of a black, or white black. And we do have a white black in here, so that may be part of it too. So let me get that one soldered up so it doesn't get kind of pushed out of the way and we forget where it goes, and I gotta go back and find it again. Here, I changed leads on my multimeter. That other one I got tired of that stupid little clip. That one's nice for hooking onto components, but not too good for on here. So I got an alligator clip on there. Alright, we're on the score reset relay. You can see we're on the green, white, and corresponding over here on our first player is the second one here. You can see continuity, and for player 2 it should be down on the bottom. If I can get down, if I can get down in there, get on it, there we are. That is green and black. Okay, green and black should be right here, right there. And you can see that's it. I'll pull that one out of the way, kind of put him back here where we remember. Alright, and then so it's our second wire. Our second wire would be our green on our score reel. We'll drag him out of there, and there. And those two go together. We'll put a hunk of shrink tube on there, and I'll strip them. And get those soldered together, and that'll be another one out of the way, and I'll probably do one more and then I'll go ahead and finish this up. So I think there's a couple other ones that I can find pretty quick and get them on here. We'll see, maybe another one or two on the reset. I still haven't found any, haven't put any on for off of the player control. There's no stepper for the player control on this. It's just out is one player, is first player, and then when it sucks in, that's 2 player. That's the second player. So let me get those two soldered together, and then I'll start hunting around and seeing what else I can come up with. It's kind of, this is the way I've kind of always done stuff like this, because schematics are a little tough for me. So I've always used multimeter and just following colors and continuity tests and stuff like that, and doing a lot of stuff without schematics with a multimeter. So let me get that one put together, and then I'll work on another one, and we'll come and I'll show you. Alright, this is an interesting one. Don't mind the rain. It's one of them days. Okay, I have 3 wires left on our circuit board here. I have the 4th one, which is this white one, that's the one we're going to work on. And we have the blue or purple, whatever you want to call it, and this yellow. That yellow? No. The red up top here. That one. We have that. Yep, that one left. Okay, so we're going to work on this one. So I come over here, and then, like I said, this one's kind of interesting. Here on player 1, we come up to the 4th one. I got my clip on it, and I went all over looking for it, like I've been doing this without schematics. And so I kept running around looking, and happened to think that when I was doing the 10 on player 2, that there's a wire that comes up off the circuit board and goes to our end of stroke switch. Well, that's where it's at. It's on the end of stroke switch. Okay, and then on the other side of the end of stroke switch is a solid green one right here that goes to, let's see, right here, down on the bottom. Should be right there. Nope, it's not that one, and it's not that one. Where did it go? There it is on the 10,000. Again, nope. But anyway, that one is, I think it's the ground, if I'm not mistaken, or whatever you want to call it on this. It's the floating. So I come off of here, come off of my end of stroke switch, and run and come over to our wires that we're wiring up, and it's the green one. So this goes up to our end of stroke switch, and then on the other side of the end of stroke switch comes around and goes to the green one. To that green one. There's another solid green one in here that there's nothing on, but I have to figure out if on player 2 we have 2 of them, the 2 greens coming off. And over here on our player 2 you can see, no, all the end of stroke switches all have just the 1 wire, except for player 1 has two green wires on each one. So what we need to do is we'll take this one off, and it should have showed up, but it didn't. We'll put that on that side of the end of stroke switch. We'll test here. That's good. And now we'll test on this one. And nothing. So I do believe we only have 1. And that could be something different. You know, it wouldn't be hard to add that wire to the end of stroke switch if we need to. And it's all part of just, you know, figuring this all out and tracing wires without schematics. And then we're going to have quite a few left over here, because I know we'll have the two yellows will go up to our solenoid, and then there's going to be one that goes to the other side of the solenoid, the trigger, so to speak. And then that's only taking like three out of here. So we're going to have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 9 wires left. Now here's the thing, you have to figure out, you know, this one I haven't counted the bundle here. Player 2 has a bigger bundle going to the 10,000 than player 1. So there's some other things coming off of player 2 that I'm not seeing just yet. And it could be that some of it is over here to our replay adjustment. Some of those wires. But see, those should be on here as well. Because it still has to replay on player 1 and replay on player 2. So there's some other things that's going on in this bundle here that we have to kind of determine and figure out what the hell's going on. There may be 2 wires running to different parts on player 2 than on player 1. Don't know. Because you can even see even the 1000 unit on player 2 has a bigger bundle of wires than the 1000 unit on player 1. So I'm going to get this one all hooked up the way it's supposed to, and then I'll probably just kind of work at this, and if I find anything really interesting to tell you about, I will bring you back and we'll go over it together. Like I said, I'm not real good at explaining this stuff, so just kind of bear with me. You know, I got it figured out and I know what I need to do, and then after that it's kind of like, well, now try and explain it to someone with them not being right here with me as I'm figuring it out. You know, yada yada yada. Okay, let me get that all done up, and then I'm going to start working at it and see what else I can find. Like I said, if I come up with something interesting, I'll bring you back. Other than that, the next time you see it, we should have it all wired up and in place. Here's another interesting one. Hopefully I can explain this one a little better probably than the last one. I have 2 wires left, the blue and this red, which is the top one here. And after working on the 10, I kind of figured that one would be our solenoid. And for some reason, our solenoid comes off of our circuit board and goes up to here. Okay, so it comes off of our circuit board and goes up to our coil. Now, what would trip the coil on this unit? Let's see, I can leave that there. There's nothing on the playfield that scores 10,000. There's no 10,000 relay. And the only other place it could come from would be the score reset, but you have to have it being able to, not going through the score reset, it has to go through scoring for it to trip and score. Well, the only other place that it could come from would be from the 1000 unit. And so I could come over here, and on the 1000 unit you can see the 3rd pin up, 3rd contact up, is the solenoid wire for the 10,000. So we'll come over here to player 2, and the 1000 unit was already installed, so we don't have to worry about it. Everything should be wired correctly on it. And we'll see, get a hold of that. Number 3. And then we'll come over to our fun little bundle of wires we have. And, you know, you look at this wire, it looks like a white and black, which would be this one here. And you can see that it's not it. So the only other one that kind of looks like it, that's got the black stripes on it, is this blue. And you can see that's the one. So what we have to do is we take our red wire, it comes up to the coil, and then this one, this blue and black, comes over and goes to the coil. And that'll take care of another one out of this little group here. I went ahead and wired up the other side of the solenoid. I think I'm still missing Nope, I have both wires on the end of stroke switch, but I'm not totally convinced that that's only going to have one wire on either side of the end of stroke switch, because a lot of these, well, player 1 all has one, but player 2, 1, 1, 1, and 1. But there are a few of them that I have located. No, I didn't. Okay, so we may only have just the one wire. Oh, double. You can see we have two coming off the end of stroke switch. 2 green. Which that may be this heavy green one here. We already have one heavy green one to one side of the end of stroke switch. I couldn't find that one anywhere, so it may be as well goes to the end of stroke switch on that one side. Because, let's see, yeah, I think we have 2, but on player 2, there's only one wire on either side. So that's what's kind of confusing me, and I'm probably confusing you as well. So I'll get the coil wired up. That'll be done. I'll have one wire left, which is 1, 2, 3, the 5th one here. And then I have the rest of this to try and figure out where it belongs on that. Okay, hopefully that was a little bit better. Towards the end I was kind of all over the place, but hopefully that helps somebody that's trying to wire these up without a schematic. I got it finished up. Found all of them on that one. On the 10,000 on player 2, there's double wires of all of them that go to the circuit board. And I was, I wasn't finding anything that was going to our replay adjustment. So I started following them, and sure enough, all the duplicates were put together. So it would, so this is player 2. Since the adjustment is over by player 2, everything's going to come off up here, go to the 10,000 on player 2, and then it'll come off the player 2, and then run over to player 1. You do that so you have shorter wires and shorter runs. You're not going to want to run one off of here to there and one off of, you can shorten things up. Same with our coils. So you come in here, let's see. No, you come in on player 2 with your coil, one wire. Goes over to the coil here, and then from there goes over to here, and then, and so on. All the way up to player 1. So everything's kind of all keyed off of player 2. You could say, well, why didn't you just, make it a one-player game? Well, you can't, because you have to have those score reels in, because you have to have the jumpers running player 2 and jumping over to player 1 to run player 1. It's just a wiring deal where you can save some wire and some time, I think, just by, putting 2 and then jump, 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 jump. And same with 10,000, your score, your replay. Say we have 50,000. 50,000 is going to come off of here, run up here, and it'll go to the 5 or the 50,000 on the 10,000 reel. And then off of that 5,000, it's going to come down and run all the way across and over to player 1. So you have to have player 2 hooked up in order for player 1 to work. I noticed that a lot about a lot of this. That you have to, that, like I said, we could have said, oh, well, we'll just use it as a player 1. Well, you can't, because you have to have player 2 hooked up. But anyway, we got both of them wired in. I only have one wire here on the 10 that is not hooked up. I'm not sure. I think that goes to our end of stroke switch, so it'll come up, come off of here to to the understroke switch, then back down and over to the other one. I'm not sure yet. I'm leaving that off until we get the panel in and we can start playing around and testing things. And if we find that it's, you know, that the understroke switch is not working on certain things, and we know that that's it. But she's all wired in. The back side, all I have left to do back here is clean up the 00 to 90 and clean up the rest of the score reels. The only two score reels I did was 10 and 10,000. And I'll get them cleaned up. Probably won't do a video on that because everybody has watched me clean score reels on the Chicago coins before. And if you want to see how they're cleaned, you can go to Cinema. Chicago Coin Cinema 1976. There's a playlist of the whole Chicago Coin Cinema, and I cleaned all the score reels on it. So if you need to see that, you can take a look at that one. And I think that's about it for back here, is just to do the score reels, 00 to 90. I did all the relays and leaf switches because I needed them to work so we could you know, work out wiring. But that's going to do it for this video. It's been quite a while in the making in this one because I've been working on this for quite a while. Just, you know, things going on and not able to spend the time out here that I want to spend on this. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you on the next one. The next one, I think we're going to flip this over and work on those little shadow boxes. If not, I'll flip it over, take a look. I may just go ahead and fix them and show you, you know, kind of in with another video, and then we can get started on putting the bottom mech up on here and getting our score motor wired in. That's going to be our next big endeavor. The rest of the stuff I'm working on, the cabinet, you know, the back piece, the neck, you know, and all that stuff. I'm just kind of working at it. I'm just kind of putting a video together where there's just going to be a whole conglomerate of things I did on the cabinet. So if you want to help out the channel, make sure you hit that like button under the video so YouTube knows that you like my videos, and it'll get mapped, and it really helps out the channel. If you really want to help out the channel, go to my my store, retrogamingwithhopper.com, and I have all kind of stuff on there. I have t-shirts, I have sweatshirts, hoodies, coffee mugs, all on there. And if you like it, leave me a comment. So I hope to see you on the next one. Until then, hey, take care.